Today on Rappler.
Ito po ay galing sa Red Ribbon at ang halaga po niyan ay 570. Ito naman po ay galing isang cake po ay galing po sa Goldilocks. Yan po ay nagkakahalaga lang ng 390 pesos. Yung pang senior citizens cake po ng Makati, nagkakahalaga po ito ng mahigit 1,000 piso.
A lawyer accuses the Binays of overpricing Makati buildings and cakes for senior citizens. The search is over. Solicitor General Francis Jardeleza is now a Supreme Court Associate Justice. And ISIS releases a video of an American journalist being beheaded. Hello, I'm Ai Makaraig. Welcome to Rappler, your social news network. A lawyer accuses Vice President Jejomar Binay and his son Makati Mayor Junjun Binay of grossly overpricing public buildings and senior citizen birthday cakes. Lawyer Renato Bondal, the younger Binay's rival for mayor in 2013, shows cakes from different establishments to illustrate that the Binays allegedly overpriced facilities and services.
Ito po ay galing sa Red Ribbon at ang halaga po niyan ay 570. Ito naman po ay galing isang cake po ay galing po sa Goldilocks. Yan po ay nagkakahalaga lang ng 390 pesos. Yung pang senior citizens cake po ng Makati, nagkakahalaga po ito ng mahigit 1,000 piso. Sa katunayan po, wala na kahit isang anino sa Makati ang nakakaalam kung magkakaano talaga ito.
Senator Coco Pimentel says the presentation was not included in the agenda and should be skipped. But Senator Antonio Trillanes says the cakes are a valid point of investigation. Bondal adds the Makati City Hall, Hospital and Science High School buildings are all supposedly overpriced. He claims the Binays and their allies overpriced the alleged parking building by 2 billion pesos or $45.65 million.
Mahigit 2 bilyon ang naging bukol ng mga taong bayan ng Makati sa proyektong pinagawa po nilang building na nagsimula mula 2007 hanggang 2013. Kailangan pong malaman ng buong bansa ang sistema ng pagnanakaw ng mga Binay sa Makati na maaring marahil kung magkakaroon po ng pagkakataon ang Vice Presidenteng maging Pangulo, ganyan din po ang sasapitin. Ganito po kami sa Makati, hindi po kami gumanda ang buhay, sila lang ang gumanda ang buhay sa pamamahala sa aming lungsod.
Bondal also accuses the Binays of violating the Government Procurement Act by splitting the building project into 5 contracts. He calls Makati the chop-chop capital of the Philippines. Mayor Binay cited a Commission on Audit memorandum saying the price of the building was reasonable, but Chairperson Grace Pulido Tan clarifies it is still under review. President Benigno Aquino appoints Solicitor General Francis Jardeleza as Associate Justice of the Supreme Court Wednesday. Jardeleza thanks Aquino and pledges to serve with the interests of the Filipino people in mind. Jardeleza's appointment is widely anticipated. He was reported to be Aquino's choice even before the appointment was made. He was initially excluded in the short list of candidates submitted to Aquino due to integrity issues raised by Chief Justice Maria Lourdes Sereno, who chairs the Judicial and Bar Council. Jardeleza's integrity was reportedly questioned after he deleted a portion in the memorandum submitted by the Philippines to a United Nations-backed tribunal seeking to challenge China's claims in the South China Sea or West Philippine Sea. Rappler sources say the act would have resulted in a colossal mistake that would have undermined the country's legal claim and territorial integrity. On Tuesday, right before Aquino's deadline, the Supreme Court granted Jardeleza's plea for inclusion in the list of nominees. It was Jardeleza's third attempt to be part of the High Court. He first applied for the SC post in 2011 and was a candidate to replace ousted Chief Justice Renato Corona in 2012. Jardeleza also vied for the post of Ombudsman in 2011 but lost to retired Supreme Court Justice Conchita Carpio Morales. Senator Alan Peter Cayetano faces graft charges for the alleged misuse of his Priority Development Assistance Fund or PDAF and the purchase of overpriced multicaps. Lawyer and university professor Rod Vera filed separate complaints against the senator and his wife, Taguig Mayor Lani Cayetano. 2 graft complaints were filed against Senator Cayetano over the use of his development funds. A plunder complaint was filed against the Taguig mayor over the alleged hiring of 3,188 ghost employees for Taguig City. The Cayetanos are also respondents in a graft case over allegedly overpriced multicaps. In a statement, the Cayetanos said the charges are a ruse to shift public focus from the probe on allegedly overpriced Makati buildings. Vice President Binay and Cayetano both say they will seek the presidency in 2016. The Cayetano camp also discredits the complainant Vera, saying he is the classmate of Binay's daughter, Makati Representative Abigail Binay Campos. Asked about the lackluster performance of his agency, Transportation Secretary June Abaya says he is only picking up from his predecessor's initiatives. He says laying down the blueprint of his department's efforts requires years of advanced planning. He adds the Philippines is playing catch-up not only with the rest of the world, but also with its growing population.
If you really want to look long-term, talk about the new gateway. This is an airport that probably we'll see in 2025. But given the rule of thumb that gateways like this, and we as Filipinos, the way we also move and decide, probably this will take 15 to 20 years. We have a master plan for our airports. In rail system, the way to go is to migrate people from private cars to mass rail system. So we see an LRT1 project to Cavite, an LRT2 extension to Antipolo, which we hope to also extend to the port area. We have MRT3 eventually being bought and O&M being privatized. MRT7 is about to start. I'd often cite a rail expert that the true test of a developed country is not when you're poor get to ride the mass transit system, but if it's rich people who get to ride the mass transit system.
Abaya and his department have been under fire for the MRT train accident at the Taft Avenue station last week. He says the investigation points to human error.
Our findings were it is human procedural error. If that is the type of finding that you have, then you focus on the man, the driver or the people who run the system.
Yeah.
We have to enhance training. Currently, they undergo refresher training once every year. We're doubling that up. And by the way, these are drivers that have gone through certification and training. They've gone to extensive training, but again, we're only human. Lapses do happen. Likewise, we have to review our procedures.
Abaya says the government is committed to avoiding future accidents and addressing the demand for fast, cheap public transportation.
Definitely by 2040, we will be like Singapore or Hong Kong. Obviously, transportation projects are also dependent on the economy, the amount of resources decided upon by decision makers that you allot for infrastructure. But clearly, this administration, till we get to 2016, has committed that we will ramp up infrastructure spending from, I think, 2.5% of GDP in 2013. That is now 3% in 2014, 4% in 2015, and by 2016, 5% of our GDP will be devoted in transportation infrastructure.
What would you want?
Amid calls for his resignation, Abaya defers to the president, saying he can leave anytime.
Do what is actually, Chai, I can go anytime. As I've said, I have a family to take care of. I have 3 young kids to raise. Serving in government is a real privilege for me, especially under President Aquino. But again, just like any other privilege, a privilege could be taken away by the appointing authority anytime. And I'd said I am not a man into drama, but a simple text or wink from the president that I should go, then I should go. I understand command responsibility. I came from the military. I also understand the concept of not abandoning your superiors. Because I could foresee, if I could...
Former President Fidel Ramos expresses concern 100 Filipino Muslims in Iraq are training under the Islamic State, formerly known as Islamic State of Iraq and Syria, or ISIS. Ramos cites raw intelligence reports in a TV interview Tuesday. He also recalls how brothers Abdurrajak and Gaddafi Janjalani joined a group of about 90 Filipino Muslims trained in the Afghan war to form the Abu Sayyaf group. Ramos adds the Abu Sayyaf is encouraged by the success of ISIS and ISIL in Iraq. He echoed concerns of terrorism experts that returning jihadists would reinvigorate local radicals. The Philippine military says the information Ramos shared has yet to be verified. Intelligence sources say at least one Filipino linked to the Abu Sayyaf has gone to Syria to join ISIS. The jihadist group ISIS traces its roots to at least two Al-Qaeda-linked groups. ISIS seized control of Syrian villages and Iraqi cities and is moving to capture more. A video of senior Abu Sayyaf leader Isnilon Hapilon circulated a few weeks ago, showing him with masked men swearing oath to ISIS. The military downplays the video. Intelligence Chief Major General Eduardo Año says it is a case of the Abu Sayyaf giving moral support to the jihadist group, not the other way around. More on ISIS. Jihadists released a video of the beheading of an American journalist kidnapped in Syria Tuesday in retaliation for U.S. airstrikes. The video shows a masked militant beheading a man resembling journalist James Foley, who has been missing since he was seized in Syria, November 2012. Foley was a veteran correspondent who covered the Libyan war. He followed the revolt in Syria against Bashar al-Assad's regime. Foley contributed to many media outlets, among them Global Post and Agence France Presse. Witnesses say Foley was seized in the northern Syrian province of Idlib. In the video, the group says Foley was killed because U.S. President Barack Obama ordered airstrikes against ISIS in northern Iraq. ISIS threatened to kill another U.S. reporter named Steven Sutloff if the bombings do not stop. The 24-hour ceasefire between Israel and Hamas collapses hours after its announcement. The Israeli military blames militants in Gaza for the breakdown, while Hamas points to the lack of progress in talks, blaming the Israelis. Hamas's armed wing, the Qassam Brigade, says it fired 29 rockets into Israel. The Israel Defense Forces launches airstrikes and orders bombed shelters open. At least 3 people are killed and 52 injured since the breakdown of the ceasefire. On Wednesday, Hamas says an Israeli airstrike killed the wife and child of its Gaza military chief, Mohammed Deif. More than a month of fighting between Israel and Hamas has killed at least 2,020 Palestinians and 67 on the Israeli side since July 8. Let's now look at Rappler's Wrap for today, a list of the 10 most important events around the world you shouldn't miss. At number 6, Australia and Indonesia agreed to put their conflict over spying behind them. Bilateral ties soured in November 2013 after Australian spies attempted to tap the phones of President Susilo Bambang Yudhoyono and his inner circle. Jakarta recalled its ambassador from Canberra and suspended cooperation in several areas over the incident, including efforts to stop people smuggling boats reaching Australia. At number 7, 16-year-old Max Verstappen will become the youngest driver in Formula One history next season after being named Toro Rosso's latest recruit. The teen is the son of ex-F1 driver Jos Verstappen. The young Verstappen won the World Go-Karting Championship in 2013 and was a regular Formula 3 podium finisher. And at number 9, Hong Kong film star Jackie Chan's son JC, who has been detained in China on drug-related charges, is shown on television with boxes of cannabis. The younger Chan was arrested August 14 on suspicion of accommodating suspected drug users. His father Jackie has been an anti-drug ambassador since 2009. For the full top 10, visit Rappler.com's The Wrap. Every story on Rappler has a mood meter which gives you 8 emotions to choose from. Click how you feel and your vote comes down to the mood navigator in the middle of the front page, which crowdsources the mood of the day. It also gives you the top 10 stories that affected our readers the most. In today's mood navigator, you already see reflected the controversial stories of the day. From today's Senate hearing, from cakes to buildings, Binays overpriced chop chop has a whopping 98% of readers feeling angry, 2% amused. But we have more stories on the appointment of Solgen Jardeleza to the Supreme Court. The inside story, Jardeleza accused of disloyalty to the Philippines, has 84% of readers feeling angry, 7% annoyed. But you see, the story that got the most votes for today, Jardeleza appointed as Supreme Court Justice, 58% happy, 39% angry. All contributing to the mood of the day today, most people are happy. That's Rappler's newscast for today, Wednesday, August 20th, 2014. Visit Rappler.com and watch your newscast Monday to Friday. Tell us how you feel on our mood meter and help us crowdsource the mood of the day. I'm Makati, and as we say at Rappler, tomorrow begins today.